And welcome to Political Trendy Radio, episode 66, I think, for February 22nd, 2016. You can email the show at elllindamood@gmail.com. Facebook is Political Trendy Radio, obviously, and Twitter's at PTRadio666, again, obviously. And other awesome links you can find on our YouTube page. My name is the ever tired Elliot Lindemood, and I'm here with.
I'm the Jim. I do shit and piss people off.
The ever angry Jim.
And I'm the ever confused Eric, who should be working on script right now. So I'll just do that.
I'm writing a script at the moment.
Does it have eating babies while they're still alive?
Yes.
While they are
It
still
does, mine does.
good.
Yes, of course. Every script I do has to have eating babies while they're still alive.
Good.
The reason I said I think is because we took a day off, so now the even number days are on Monday, and that fucks with my OCD. So we might have to take another Monday. We might have to take a Monday off soon just to get it right.
Yay. And then all depends upon what the hell happens if I get a job.
And he's gone already. What a moron.
Is he? Okay. Well, he said he had things to do.
No, he joined because he's a joiner.
Okay. He has to leave his presence known, and then, all right.
Well, he doesn't really, So this is the beauty of setting people on fire. And sorry if I sound a little bit weird. My tonsils have been flaring up recently.
Now, this is something I taunted you with over the weekend. The Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, well, you mentioned this earlier today, and I was actually interested to hear what it was about. Then I went to sleep without researching it. Because that's what I do. I like to wait for you. All right, the Wall Street Journal. Good Christ. What?
The world goes headbanging. The weird global appeal of heavy metal. Get ready for the lamestream.
It's been global ever since the 70s. Even in 1970, there were Sabbathian bands doing even Black Sabbath covers in South Africa and Brazil. It's been global for a long time. Good God, this will be fun.
Yes. Time to shit on what the lamestream idiots think, especially the profit-minded Wall Street Journal.
Oh yes, Wall Street Journal. God. All right, let's have fun.
From Indonesia to Latin America, Russia to Japan, metal is taking its hold. You're just not noticing.
Maybe Russia, but even then there were probably some, secret groups in the 80s, but Japan there were obviously some metal groups in the 80s. Latin America, which I call South America because I think Latin America is kind of retarded. You've never heard of Sarcophago and Sepultura and Volcano and a lot of Brazilian bands. Great Brazilian bands, by the way.
Today's world music isn't Peruvian pan flutes or African talking drums. It's loud guitars, growling vocals, and ultra-fast blast beats.
I want to see the Peruvian pan flute included in, like, black metal. Not like some pretentious folk metal thing. I mean, like, bestial black metal with a fucking pan flute in it. Make the pan flute brutal.
I think you'll get some pretentious hipster trying that before anything.
Yeah. And computer, I don't want to install major updates right now. Well, it's telling me, there are some updates, but it won't shut my computer down because it's been telling me that for 9 hours.
Yeah. Anyways, heavy metal has become the unlikely soundtrack of globalization. And This is how you kill it further. Anyway. Indonesia is a metal hotbed. Its president, Joko Widodo, wears a Metallica and Napalm Death t-shirt.
Which Barney actually used it. Barney Greenway from Napalm Death actually used it to his advantage, asking him not to execute certain people that were held basically political prisoner, I believe. And he's like, "Look, you wear a Napalm Death T-shirt. You need to understand what the hell we're saying."
Yeah.
It was an interesting thing. I was like, well, that's one way to get people interested.
Metal scenes flourish in Latin America, Eastern Europe, Russia, and Scandinavia. China got an early...
Scandinavia. That's brand new. We've
Yeah, I know.
never heard of Swedish or Norwegian metal, have we?
No, we haven't. Fuckers. China got an early seeding of metal 25 years ago when U.S. record companies dumped unsold CDs there. In a male-dominated genre, Russian band Arkona is fronted by singer Maria Arkhipova.
In a male-dominated genre, funerist. Never mind.
Yeah. We know. I've said it a million times already.
Yes, I could probably just play recordings of myself saying what I've already said.
And list about 80 different bands.
Yep.
Have either female fronts, female
Yep.
members here or there, or are entirely female.
Yep.
So many suck, some are actually standout.
Well, 95% of the bands are crap, but 95% everything is crap.
Yeah. If you don't know who we promote by now, fucking watch older episodes right now.
If you don't know who I promote,
Yeah.
what planet are you on?
Exactly.
Because I only mention the bands I promote like 80 times per episode.
Yeah. Language barriers are less significant in the metal world, which is all about the sound and often dissonant drone, not grounded in any one musical tradition.
That's true about language barriers, especially with black metal, where I'm just going to be brutally honest. Sometimes I can't tell what exactly they're saying, which isn't that astounding considering A, some of the vocalists, and B, some of them aren't actually speaking in English. But yeah, you don't really need to learn to know the. It's funny when someone asks, how can you listen to that? You don't even understand the language. I'm like, because the voice becomes a part of the music. If you're good at it, the music will convey whatever emotion you want to convey.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't realize that because they're morons.
Yes. Lamestream morons. Fuck them all. The explosion of local bands around the world tends to track rising living standards and internet use. Making loud music is expensive. You need electric guitars, amplifiers, speakers, music venues, and more leisure time.
Now that I can actually believe, because back in the old Brazilian scene, there were a handful of hardcore bands. They all had to use the same equipment as each other because money was so tight in Brazil back in the 80s. However, that led to one of the coolest buzzy guitar sounds I've ever heard.
When economic development happens, metal scenes appear. They're like mushrooms after the rain, says Roy Doron, an African history professor at Winston-Salem State University. Record labels are paying more attention now at Nuclear Blast Records, one of metal's biggest independent labels. Global retail sales rose last year to 2.53 million albums.
Having Slayer on your label will do that to you.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, Nuclear Blast hasn't quite sucked the cock as much as maybe Roadrunner has. I mean,
Yeah.
Nuclear Blast has had some deathcore on there, but Roadrunner has Slipknot, so they're okay. Nuclear Blast. I still they're probably one of well, not they're not one of my favorite uh, labels, but I still kind of look for some quality for them. But they're definitely not Severed Records or Hell's Headbangers or one of the good labels that I follow. As far as good major labels go, uh, I still paid attention to Relapse. Earache, I've kind of grown fed up with. Earache is now releasing rock albums, and it's like, dude, you're on a label called Earache Records. You should be, well,
Yeah, money. Anyways, up from 2.25 million in 2014 and 1.84 million in 2013.
It's kind of ironic because both Nuclear Blast and Earache started as small little hardcore punk labels, and look what they. It's funny they're talking about global record sales of 2 million, and that's pretty damn good. Back in maybe 15 years ago, that would be paltry even for Nuclear Blast. Well, if they were as big then as they are now.
Yeah.
But even in the 90s, by the way, even in the early 90s, Nuclear Blast was the enemy as far as black metal went. If you signed to Nuclear Blast, you were the enemy. So
If
yeah, it's nothing new.
yeah. In the late 1990s and 2000s, Nuclear Blast made a bet on bands with the potential to sell well globally, such as Norway's Dimmu Borgir and California veterans Exodus. That
Yes. That's putting it mildly. Yes, sell globally, suck musically. Well, I guess Exodus is okay, but Dimmu Borgir. And they're a guilty pleasure. They can still write some good riffs. They're just, eh.
says Gerardo Martinez, U.S. manager of Nuclear Blast. Since he joined the company in 2003, payroll has doubled to 200 employees in 5 offices, including Germany and Brazil. In late August, Sony Music Entertainment bought Century Media Records, a leading metal and hard rock label, for an undisclosed sum. Universal Music Group last month bought metal label Candlelight. Oh, thanks for giving us names to avoid in the future.
That's pretty damn depressing, actually. But that's actually pretty damn depressing that Candlelight sold. They
Yeah.
were an old
Especially
black
Universal. Fuck.
well, they were an old black metal label from the early '90s, founded by Lee Barrett, ex Extreme Noise Terror, and said that Century Media. Well, I'm not surprised that Century Media sold. They always had some mainstream artists, but Candlelight, fuck, morons.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Napalm Death was on Earache when they sold to CBS, and Napalm Death basically ruined that deal by basically being too extreme. I wonder if they'll be too extreme for the label this time. I hope so.
Yeah. Sony fucks up just nowhere near the same caliber as Universal. God.
The, yeah, well, hopefully. I see it lasting for like a day. I don't see Candlelight lasting.
Aside from record sales and concert tickets, merchandise is a big part of metal culture, especially t-shirts. Metal superstars such as Iron Maiden are playing more countries than ever. In September, the UK band's new record, The Book of Souls, topped official and unofficial charts in 43 territories, including Israel, Bolivia, and India. The band says next Wednesday, the band kicks off a world tour of 36 countries, including the first time stops in China, Lithuania, and El Salvador. That's good. Playing sure to play your old stuff. That's the real good shit. No, you want to promote your album, but yeah. Tom Araya is the
Yeah,
fifth.
I don't know. Iron Maiden's done some good new stuff too. I mean,
It's
they're one of the
okay.
they're one of the few band. Well, it's more song by song rather than album by album, really.
Well, albums, they haven't produced one that actually sucks.
But I mean, like as far as the way they function, one song's great, the other one song's good. Well, I mean, there are some modern day classics that I really like, but so I can stand whatever they would play. I'd actually go see
Yeah.
them live still, which is something I wouldn't do for some other bands.
Tom Araya is the 54-year-old singer and bassist for Slayer, which, along with Metallica, Anthrax, Megadeth, and Exodus, pioneered the galloping subgenre known as thrash metal. Born in Chile, he and his family immigrated to the U.S. when he was 5. He studied to become a respiratory therapist before devoting himself to Slayer full time. When the band played a sold-out show in Chile in the early 1990s, the scene was chaotic because more fans wanted to enter than the venue could accommodate. It was humbling, says Mr. Araya. I was so emotionally involved. My being Chilean in this band that was internationally known, that was such a huge thing for them. Today, Chile boasts one of South America's most vibrant metal scenes. As in other countries, the music has transgressive appeal. In late December, La Future, a thrash groove band, okay, played small venue in Santiago for 200 to 300 people, along with other bands. The band's guitarist, Christian Olveres, 32, says, "Metal is huge here in Chile, and I think that is because of our history, full of violent acts of repression and injustice." He calls metal a lifestyle, which it is. Go fuck yourselves.
But metal is also a lifestyle that doesn't really like thrash groove metal bands.
Exactly.
You have to work extra hard if you're gonna be a groove metal band, because we'll tear you apart,
Yeah.
and we don't care.
And force feed you your own children. Ugh. In some places, metal has taken on political overtones. Israeli metal act Orphaned Land and Palestinian group Callus, that's Khalas, share tour buses to promote peace. Burger Kill sings about corruption in Indonesia. Burger
Now
Kill.
that's a name I can get behind. Burger Kill.
Mm-hmm. Been even funnier if they were from India, but still.
Hello, we're from India. We're called Cow Slaughter.
The common people can do the change their politicians failed to do. Orphan Land singer Kobe Ferry says, with distorted guitars, impeccable singing, and intense lyrics, metal songs can be off-putting to many. Good. But it may help cross borders. We're the music that allows fans to be rebels, to be extreme slayers, Tom Araya says. Music festivals are proliferating. There are some 50 worldwide. They keep
Yes,
degenerating to suck every year.
yeah. I remember Mayhem Festival. It was fun when I was 14, 15. Would I still go there? Yes, because I'm desperate. But at the same time, a lot of music festivals are. I haven't found a really good one. And the ones I have found are like 3 day festivals that I'm like, I no, don't make it a 3 day, just make it a 1 day festival. Make all the good bands from all those 3 days into 1 day.
Yeah, instead of spacing out the good bands,
Well, and
including all
and,
the
and
suck.
well, and I hate the Warp Tour style of having a million stages. because I liked at the main festival I could see every band. Granted, some band, because they had the two side stages beside each other, so one band was finished and another band starts. Granted, one band was a little quieter, but still they were beside each other, so you could hear both. Then when that was done, you walked over to the main stage. There wasn't 50 stages or whatever. With I like just give me an all day festival of two stages and then the main stage. But anyway, that's my rant about festivals.
Okay. Dubai's Rock Fest and Desert Rock Festival events have drawn metalheads from across the Middle East. In Asia, there's Tokyo's Loud Park Festival, Beijing's 330 Metal Fest, and Borneo's Kukar Rockin' Fest. At last summer's Wacken Open Air in Germany,
Ugh.
the world's biggest metal gathering, non-Western fans were a common sight. Sunni and Shiite headbangers from Iraq enjoyed the music just as yards away from each other.
Wacken's gone completely to shit too because now it's all melodic death metal bands. I mean, I'm not saying melodic death metal's bad, but I'm just saying it.
Most of the bands are fucking shit.
Yeah, there are a couple that do stand out, but yeah, most of them are basically rock bands with distorted guitars
Yeah.
and growled vocals.
To be sure, the global recorded music business has shrunk by roughly half, and metal probably isn't going to change that. In many countries, metal is an underground, good, grassroots business run by indie labels.
As it
Good.
should be, just like punk. The major labels tried to mainstreamize punk and mainstreamize metal. They they probably did more damage. They definitely did more damage. I mean, nowadays you walk and say you like punk, and they think you're into Green Day or Nirvana. You walk in you say you like metal, they think you mean Under Oath and Devil Wears Prada.
That's kill.
So
Can I just grab someone, fucking take him out to a hooker, and you let them get their fucking cock hard? Then come out from around the corner, whip out my knife, and just flay it straight up the middle, letting the meat fall straight out.
yes, that's what you should do.
Yeah. Local concert bookers and specialized publications. And many non-Western metal bands are subordinately anti-commercial in an age where making music audience-friendly is considered part of the game, not a sellout.
Archgoat would disagree with you. So would most
I
bands I
think they're
like.
trying. I think they're trying to stay that these bands aren't trying to be commercial friendly or something. I don't know.
See, I agree that making music that's audience friendly is good, but my kind of audience, not your kind of audience.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, anything can be friendly to any audience. Sepultura's Morbid Visions is friendly to me.
Mm-hmm. It's delicious.
Oh, yeah. Sloppy goodness.
Yet the genre is expanding appreciably. Over 100,000 metal bands from about 150 countries have listings on Encyclopedia Metalum, an online archive.
Good. At least they're fucking doing something that's legitimately metal. I mean, I don't agree with every listing they put on there. Why is Twisted Sister on there? But at the same time, at least they have the balls to go, look, Soulfly only accepted due to the album Enslaved. This band accepted due to the album. Whenever there's a iffy band, they usually tell you why it was accepted. And at least they still don't accept bands like Korn and shit like that. And plus, it's fun. It's the people who mainly complain about Metal Archives, which is I call it Metal Archive rather than because that's the web address. That's kind of how I know it as. is the people who complain about it are people who basically their pet band didn't get on there or their pet album got a negative review, so they complained about it as a joke. That's tend to be how it happens.
Yeah.
But I should actually do a guide to, because there are some really good reviewers on Metal Archives that you've probably met in some past life. And then there's the one guy who, whenever a band, like whenever a Black Sheep album comes up, such as Load and Morbid Angel's Eye album, this one guy always gives it a positive review. Always gives it a positive review and always talks about how open-minded he is.
Can we throw acid in his face?
Yes, yes, we can. Frankly, whenever I see his user name, I just skip right through his review. Just go to the next one because he pretty much has nothing to say. He gave Saint Anger a 100. Or like a 98 or some. Anyway, some
I don't
perfect
care.
Yeah.
I want multiple stab wounds, gushing, fucking flowing everywhere.
But that pretty much voids all arguments, as well as the one guy who gave 100% to the Under Oath. They're only chasing safety. After that, I'm sorry, I can't take any of your opinions seriously. I know that's hard and extreme, but come on, if you give 100 to that album because it helped me through high school, I can't take your opinion.
The fucking Black Album helped me through high school. And you know what I do with it now? I wipe my ass at every chance I get.
Because some people can't understand that music tastes change, and some like I'll willingly admit that Green Day got me into music. Okay, I will tell you that with a straight face. I'll tell you I was 11, so no making fun of me. Do I listen to Green Day now? Do I even like Green Day now? Do I wish Green Day would just hit a patch of ice and just skid and just die? Of course I wish that. But I'll admit they got me into music, but my taste changed and I regret that, honestly. I regret listening to Green Day in the first place. But anyway, that's because I'm a smart, intelligent person. Anyway, moving on with the article.
Pat yourself on the back there. Nice.
No, I have to scratch my back. I have an itch.
I have to scratch my ass. Anyways, that is roughly double the figure from 2007. Latin America's metalhead population probably outnumbers Europe's, says Jeremy Wallach, a popular culture professor at Bowling Green State University in Ohio, who specializes in metal music.
Why do they ask cultural professors and why don't they ask me? I'm more of a cultural professor than you could ever be because I'm actually living it. But, they'd rather ask some guy with a tie and suit rather than asking the guy in the, dirty shirt.
Just woke up out of the gutter picking glass out of your head.
Yeah, that was fun.
It always is. Fun.
Who turned on the sun?
I still remember waking up, just a few feet away from a sign that said, "Welcome to New Jersey." And I was like, well, at least I was smart enough not to enter.
Yes. A noble act of self-preservation there.
Just pass out here. You're not going to New Jersey. Huh, good.
Good. New Jersey scum.
When he looked at Google Trends data on searches for the term heavy metal last year, Indonesia topped that list, followed by Chile, Costa Rica, Paraguay, and Nepal.
I just look at the bands I follow nowadays and see where they're from. And yeah, a lot of the bestial black metal bands are from South America. Because for some reason they just have this primal rain jungle energy. Watch, I'll be called a racist now for saying South America has jungle energy.
Yeah, but Who cares? Driving metal's growth are intensely loyal fans with unusual consumer habits. Many metalheads still collect physical products, such as CDs. Yes, you should. They're good to have backups.
I do, but as I've stated about 1,000 times, I don't do it as much as I used to because I know what happens when I do that. Just saying. So I still do, but I've tempered it, and I've gone postal in the downloads. But as like I said, as long as I'm supporting the fucking band, I'm promoting them. I'm going to their shows if they ever played here, and yes, I will buy a CD. Of bands. So just not as much anymore. Thank you to whoever robbed me, by the way. I know who it was. I'm gonna hunt you down, motherfucker.
Younger fans connect not just to older bands like Black Sabbath and Death, but also to groups from all over the world, so like Brazil's Sepultura, Germany's Rammstein, which is
not metal.
Not really metal, but
And
still.
as long as it's old Death and old Sepultura, none of this story to tell, Crystal Mountain crap that you try to shove down my throat. I'll take spiritual healing, but anything after that's worth avoiding, like the plague. And anything after Arise. KSAD had a couple good songs, but you don't really want to mess with anything after Arise. And you know what? Just buy Morbid Visions and have your head explode. Because really, if you think that Morbid Visions is too primitive and sloppy, you're not my friend.
Stab him in the face 53 times with a fucking pencil.
I mean, I like Beneath the Remains, but something about Morbid Visions touches me in ways that Beneath the Remains never could. And I don't mean in that way. Shut up.
And Sweden's Opeth, which has a graduated.
And I love Swedish metal, and I'll even. Ugh.
Yeah. Fucking get the right band, you fucking pop culture fucking retards.
Oh God, Opeth. And I had to listen to an album. I once listened to an album in its entirety. It was I think it was Blackwater Park. And my God, I wish I hadn't done that.
Yes.
I became religious just to pray for it to end. That I lost my faith. That I never had.
Women increasingly are participating. Metal today is definitely not a boys' club, says Dina Weinstein, a DePaul University sociologist who has studied metal culture. But then again, when has it really ever been like an exclusive club? Yeah, there were fucking fewer chicks and bands back in the day, but
Acid, bitch, warlock, whatever.
yeah,
Coven. I don't give a fuck. I've said it so many times. You can pretty much just rinse, repeat.
Yeah. Baby Metal, a female trio that combines metal, Japanese pop.
I don't know why you like, because I listened to them once thinking, because they kept getting ads of Metal Injection. That was back when I thought Metal Injection was good. This is back in 2012 or something, when they were just starting out. And it was on my friend's Last FM profile. So I listened to them, and I literally felt the puke rising.
The whole thing is they're not a fucking metal band. They're a pop rock act that throws in fucking some distorted guitar. I mean, if you can enjoy it as that, fine. If not, fine. I don't give a shit either way. But the fact that people keep pushing it as metal, it's not. Even they themselves, if we're to fucking trust Anarcha's fucking translation of the fucking one interview, even they themselves say they're not metal.
I've heard better pop rock, but that's my opinion.
Yeah.
But it was not my thing. I'm not big on the whole Japanese shrill 12-year-old schoolgirls type thing.
Yeah.
That was actually why I was glad I found that one female-fronted power metal band with women who didn't sound like they were fucking 10 years old. Because Erica would show me some anime themes, and they were decent melodies. I mean, they were kind of infectious. Then they would ruin it by having this girl who sounded like she was barely out of diapers sing it. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, that's not what I'm interested in. I don't want to hear, a cat fucking on helium.
Yeah. Anyways, Baby Metal is putting out a much anticipated release April 1st followed by a show at the arena at Wembley in London, then a US tour. The Russian band Arkona and its lead singer Miss Arkhipova played 87 shows in 32 countries last year. Since you're pushing a Wall Street Journal and your track record is shit, I really don't trust your statements for any good.
I'll check it. Well, I'll whatever.
I'll respect your judgment.
I'll check them out later. I don't care enough to.
Including stops in Brooklyn, Chicago, and Phoenix, and headlined 7 shows in China last month.
Don't really care.
Metal requires a high degree of musicmanship, which is prized in countries with a classical music bent, such as
unless you're playing bestial black metal, in which case, to be brutally honest, you have to know how to play drums a little bit, and know a couple guitar chords, and know how to growl. And it's kind of like the punk of metal. You're kind of like, wow, that sounds like it sucks. Go listen to Morbid Visions. They didn't know how to play. Sepultura's first album is amazing because they didn't know how to play. I mean, you could hear drum screw-ups.
Yeah.
Hellhammer. But anyway.
Such as China, Finland, and Japan. Unlike punk music, which is relatively easy to play, metal often involves super fast guitar playing and complex chord structures. Yeah, at least you recognize that. Many of today's...
Unless it's black metal. Just saying.
Many of today's global metal fans prefer extreme metal, an umbrella term that includes dark, aggressive subgenres such as death metal, to the more melodic sounds of, say, Judas Priest isn't extreme.
No. They're saying they prefer extreme metal to the more melodic sounds of Judas Priest.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Or the new Swedish band Ghost. Yeah, you should definitely prefer anything over Ghost.
Although I do
definitely prefer Judas Priest over Ghost. Yeah.
Priest was always hit and miss for me. They would have one good song and they'd ruin it with another. And as far as Ghost goes, as you know, I like occult rock, but they just never did anything for me. I'd rather listen to Sabbath Assembly, Jex Thoth, Blood Ceremony, Just in the Ancient Ones, The Devil's Blood, and of course Coven.
The biggest death metal scene isn't in the US or Scandinavia. It's most likely in Indonesia, Mr. Wallach says. But do they have anything good?
Not that I've heard of. Not that I've heard. They have some okay stuff, but I still go to Scandinavia for my for my metal, first and foremost, because while they disappointed me, they haven't disappointed me as enough as other countries.
Yeah, such as our own.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants to suck the teat of fucking random bullshit.
The teat of something, at least.
Something that needs to die. Kill it now. Metal is a kind of secret society, as it should be. A brotherhood of outsiders. While the music's heaviness doesn't appeal to everyone, it binds those who join in like a religion. Wear a Napalm Death t-shirt in Buenos Aires, Mumbai, or Beijing and see what happens.
Or an artery eruption T-shirt to see what happens. That'd be more fun because at least less people would recognize it, and the people who did would likely be people I'm more likely to be friends with. I mean, I like Napalm Death, they're one of my favorite bands, but they do have a sizable newbie fan base, which needs to be destroyed with
What
fire.
and what usually happens is you get quizzed on whatever the fuck badge you're wearing, and get eliminated as a poser, or maybe you're introducing a new band to someone.
Or the girl who was wearing an Iron Maiden T-shirt, and I asked, "So what's your favorite song?" She said, "Oh, I don't know the band. I just like the design." To which,
Stab wounds.
to which I said, "You're not allowed to wear that shirt." And she said, "Who said?" And I said, "The greater metal community."
What was that, honey? Oh, okay. Stab him in the fucking cunt. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
Especially in poorer countries with corrupt governments or conservative mores, metal fans are often seeking something to believe in, a kind of transitional community, academics say.
Satanism.
Satan. In the sparsely populated desert nation of Botswana, fans of groups like Rust, spelt with a W at the beginning, and Skinflint in the capital of Gaborone are often middle class and tech savvy.
Skinflint sucks ass, by the way.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
In India, where fans tend to be well educated and professional, listening to metal bands such as Demonic Resurrection is partly about standing apart from mainstream society and rejecting rigid social and religious norms.
India, where it's cheaper to buy technology than food.
Yeah.
That's one weird ass country. But anyway.
Metal
Hey,
fan.
by the way, if we have any Indian fans, cow slaughter.
Yeah. Metal
I
fans
ate
are
a
joined.
hamburger I ate a hamburger the other day.
Delicious.
Yes. I'm sorry. I just wanted to piss off.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is fine. Metal fans are joined by a common sense of cultural descent, says Texas A&M music professor Harris Berger. They act out in different ways. In 1988, Kaiser Kao, a Chinese American metal fan, traveled to Beijing on a student visa after finishing college at the University of California, Berkeley. The young musician, whose parents came to the U.S. in the late 50s, was surprised by what he found: guitars and amps for sale, evidence of a nascent rock scene that had formed around local artists interacting with visiting diplomats and journalists. China was just opening up to the West, and fans were soaking up decades of U.S. music at once, Mr. Cowell said.
Back when the wall came down in Berlin, Eric Keller was telling about this. He would see thousands of people at grindcore shows because the East was so interested in what was going on in the West that anything that involved Western music was welcomed. That's why you saw huge crowds at Fear of God and Anal Cunt shows.
Yes, a huge crowd at an anal cunt show. I hope
and
you
and
enjoyed.
and that was back when they were a noise band. That was back before they were had song structure. That was back when they were a pure noise grind band. God, that must have been great. Somewhere on YouTube is the show. Somewhere, I'll have to dig it out for you.
He teamed up with two Chinese locals, including a charismatic singer named Deng Wu, to form Tang Dynasty, perhaps China's first metal band.
That is the shittiest name of thing I've ever heard. I mean, not Panda Slaughter. Panda Killer. That's the only thing I know about Chinese is panda.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
I don't know
We'll
anything
have to
about
check them out.
fortune cookie. That's not Chinese. I'm just being. Anyway, stop me, please.
The group blended Western rock and metal with lyrics and sounds reminiscent of ancient China. The Tang Dynasty was a period of prosperity and cultural openness in medieval China. Thus the name. So pretentious.
Still a bad
Trying
name
to call
because
yourself fucking New Awakening?
because I think metal bands should have evil names. That's why I think bands like Destruction are great, and I've heard bands the names at least. I'm just like, why would I want to look? I mean, I'll be honest, the name draws me in. I mean, I had to look up a band called Gravedigger. How could I not look up a band called Gravedigger? But
Yeah.
a band like a band like Happy Panda Face. Why would I look? I don't care if you play death metal. I just So I'll admit that I think metal should have evil names, but
Yeah. Cassettes brought by Western visitors, kids, weren't the only way metal spread in China. According to Mr. Cow, in the early 1990s, U.S. music companies would dump unwanted inventory, say leftover CDs from an artist that a label had dropped, because doing so would allow them to reduce their tax burden in various ways. The discs offloaded to third parties would end up on Chinese ports at cut rate prices, 15 cents or less, with little nicks to ensure they couldn't be sold in the U.S. Cannibal Corpse, a U.S. death metal band whose music had been banned in several Western countries, was especially successful there. As it should be.
oh, I like the song Hammer Smashed Face.
Mm-hmm. Addicted to vaginal skin. Goodness.
Vaginal, stupid.
Shut up. In the late 1990s and 2000, waves of Chinese bands from Overload to Suffocated, along with Taiwan's Chitonic and Silent Hell, helped build out the region's scene.
Silent Hell. That's actually a funny name. I mean, I think a Silent Hell would be much more scary and foreboding than a loud screaming hell. Because Silent Hell's silent.
Yeah. Silent scream, crucified bastards.
Yay, silent screams. I know what that is.
Sacrifice the unborn. Okay. While metal.
That's what this show should be called. Sacrifice the Unborn. Sacrifice the Unborn Radio. And that's what we should do.
Yeah. While metal is by no means mainstream in China, bands from different subgenres play in Beijing every night of the week, says Mr. Cao, now an international communications director for Chinese search engine Baidu. Beijing becoming a mecca for this, he says. Tang Dynasty's ancient China references were early signs of what's become a global phenomenon. Folk metal, sometimes called pagan metal or roots metal. Don't confuse it with the fucking album Roots.
Which, by the way, most people who pioneered folk metal have distanced themselves from, including Fenris, who did a lot to pioneer folk metal, and now says, it fucking sucked, and we shouldn't have done it. Just saying.
Yeah.
Although some were good, but anyway, pagan metal, yes.
Where metal songs sing about their ethnic group's past, whether actual or mythic, often using ancient languages and instruments. Today, there are at least 2,000 pagan metal groups, DePaul's Miss Weinstein estimates. In Russia and Ukraine, folk metal bands sing about old myths, hoping to resurrect a more authentic pre-Western cultural identity.
and Nazism if you dig deep enough in some Ukrainian folk metal bands, such as Nocturnal Mortem, who of course had the side project Aryan Terrorism.
Yeah, always good fun. uh, Nine Treasures, a Mongolian folk metal act whose members grew up in Inner Mongolia and sing in Mongolian, have already taken.
What does that sound like? A yak?
I don't know.
Nor do I care, because Scandinavia has the best folk metal. End of story. Yes, I'm being very racist.
Go for it. I don't give a shit at this point.
I don't
Alrighty.
either. I don't either because it's not true. I like to call myself names that aren't actually true.
That's fine. I don't give a shit. Having already taken their guitars and horse head fiddle, a Mongolian instrument, to Germany's annual Wacken Festival. Another band, Ego Fall, toured Europe last month. In December, Tengiger Calvary, a group formed in Beijing by musician and throat singer Nature Gangbagalia.
I don't care.
Gang and Bagale.
I don't care.
That is now based in New York City, played to a sold-out Christmas Eve show at Carnegie Hall. To get fans in the Christmas spirit, the band played Jingle Bells.
Fuck Ahmad, fuck Ahmad, fuck Ahmad today. How much fun is it to fuck Ahmad until he's dead? Or kick him in the head. Oh.
Yeah. And that was the article.
Whatever. Who cares about folk metal? I mean, I like some of it, but most of it's just, eh. Most of it's people who don't actually know what folk is. I mean, you have some Chinese bands singing about Odin paganism. It doesn't work. Whatever. Wall Street Journal can suck my ass.
Yeah, because you're trying to make profit off of us.
They didn't even mention, they didn't even mention bestial black metal. And if you don't, I don't like the term war metal because people think war metal means that, metal with lyrics about war, whereas war metal is a stupidly named, like Archgo, Blasphemy. Yes, they're trying to make a profit by us, which they won't because we know better. Destroy them. Kill them with fire.
Yeah.
Then set people on fire.
And I have no idea what the fuck this is about. But it's called The Incarcerated Counterculture, the Black Metal Resurgence.
I know what this is about. This is from 03, 06, but this is about something that happened in 2003. I just thought you'd like it. Spoiler alert, the guy has reactivated the band. But I thought you'd like it. I haven't read the article, but I know what and who it's about. And it's from Riverside, California.
Yeah.
Which is not really near where I am, but it's kind of.
It's closer to it than I am.
Well, yeah, but that's never mind.
Years ago, Raymond Shipley was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Shipman, who is the frontman of satanic black metal band called Soul Evil, pleaded guilty to firing 7 shots at Teen Challenge, a Southern California-based Christian drug rehabilitation center.
Yeah, I remember when I heard that. I was just like, this guy needs to be martyred or sainted or something. Yes. Yes.
No one was injured in the attack off fire. But the crime was labeled a hate crime, resulting in a steep sentence for Shipley. He has often made public statements decrying Christianity, and many of Soul Evil's songs address the same topic. Satanic metal? Really?
It's actually really good. Check the band out. They're actually really good.
Okay, we'll get to that.
I know you're not a huge black metal fan, but
Yeah.
that's because you have no taste in music. So
You can suck my sweaty nutsack and watch your face melt off, because my
no,
ball
thank
sweat
you.
is the most corrosive substance in the universe.
You know what? I don't think I will. Thank you. I don't know why, but I think I'll just not do that.
But thou must.
Have Eric do it.
Yeah, we'll use him as the guinea pig. Typical lyrical topics range from the destruction of Christianity to Satan taking over the world. Good, clean family fun. Christianity has endlessly attempted to annihilate the sanctity of individuality, Shipley explained. I stand against all things not defended by logic and reason. Christianity is based on mindless obedience, blind faith, and a myriad of rules calling for humbleness and servitude. I'd rather be the master than a slave.
That's what attracted me to Satanism in the first place, even the theistic kind, because it's all about self-empowerment and freedom. That's what attracted me to it, whereas Christianity is about slavery and submitting yourself to Christ. And I'm sorry, I don't want to submit myself to Christ just because he wouldn't got killed for me. Which, by the way, he wasn't even kind enough to send out a memo or a text message or a Facebook post asking if I'm cool with that. What a dick. Fuck Jesus.
Soul Evil's website states that Shipley, who goes by Lord Mordor on stage, I'm sorry, just that name.
Oh yeah, but come on, you gotta support him.
Created the band in order to promote violence, evil, and Satanism, and to destroy Christianity and all white light religions.
See, you gotta support him.
That's always a fun goal.
I don't see how you can't support him.
In spite of his imprisonment, Shipley and Soul Evil are at the forefront of a burgeoning Southern California black metal music scene. Black metal emerged in the 1980s and has continued to expand worldwide since its inception. Originally splitting from regular heavy metal due to its extreme lyrics focusing on Satan and death and the demise of Christianity, black metal has since formed pockets around the world and is thriving.
Update: he's since been let out of prison. Apparently, in 2013, he reactivated the band and is making more evil satanic music again.
That's good.
Yep.
Also, some would argue it's dying, not thriving.
Black metal, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think black metal is I think metal is thriving. You just have to get behind the mask that we're tearing down.
I'd just rather assume it's dying, so that way people get out of the spotlight and we're only giving, decent bands that are actually worth maybe a listen.
That's why I go to Nazi black metal, because as I told Eric rather controversially one time, if you ever want to be non-mainstream, go the Nazi route. If you ever want to have no chance at mainstream success, go the Nazi route.
Yeah. That's a good way to have zero mainstream success.
Yep.
The most notorious black metal locations are in Eastern Europe, mostly in Scandinavia and Germany. Asia, mostly in Pakistan and Malaysia, and the United States, mostly in Southern California.
Yeah, most black metal in the U.S. sucks dick, though.
Yeah.
Couple good bands like this band, but most of them try to emulate Burzum. I mean, which I like Burzum, but just emulating them isn't doing it for me.
Yeah. Taken alone, the music of black metal is grating. It utilizes heavily distorted guitars and basses mixed with driving drums, with the lead singer almost always screaming incomprehensibly over the noise. It's only incomprehensible to you fuckers who don't sit there and
Well,
listen to it. Some bands, yes, but
I've
once you
actually
start getting an ear, you start making out what people are saying.
I've actually become more of a black metal fan in the past 5 months, thanks to me listening to Wolf Flare Radio while we're doing the D&D thing. Because I used to have a couple bands, but I wasn't huge on it. It was so long and epic and drony. But I heard some really good bands, and it kind of changed my mind about the genre. So I've become quite the BM fan in the past 5 months or so. Not that I wasn't already, but even more so. So that's why I'm showing you a bunch of black metal because
Yeah,
it's even more
which is
extreme than
fine.
death metal.
Mm-hmm. The difference between black metal and other metal subgenres can be almost impossible to comprehend, but mostly come from black metal's extreme focus on Satan or satanic.
No, it isn't. I mean,
No,
when I heard
no,
Burzum,
mother.
when I heard Burzum for the first time, I knew it was different than Cannibal Corpse. I mean, the riffing style was different. It was much less chaotic. It was much. I mean, well, I want to say it wasn't. It was a different kind of. It wasn't. It wasn't. Technical. It wasn't. It was more evil sounding. Where okay, here. Death metal is gory. Death metal is a psychopathic serial killer out to destroy you. Black metal is a wraith-like spirit, which is more evil because it will do horrible things to you. Granted, so will the serial killer, but at least the serial killer you can see.
You
It's
see,
it's
this fucking sentence right here just fucking screams. We only want to look at the surface aesthetic. We're going to be completely wrong about it because there's plenty that fucking sing about Satan and nothing else in other subgenres, but we don't comprehend the fucking musical styles. So we're going to be fucking neo-yuppie filth and start fucking saying things that fucking make no sense.
if you want to be really pedantic, which I don't think they were trying to say because I don't think they know this, but in the early days, the guitarist from Mayhem, Euronymous, said that black metal was any band of any genre who sang about and literally believed in Satanism. So they may have had a point if they knew what they were talking about, but something tells me they didn't know what they were talking about.
No, they don't. Another differentiating factor between black metal and other forms of metal is the extreme actions of the band members themselves.
Now that's true. I always thought that death metal. I mean, I always liked death metal, but you hear an interview with Cannibal Corpse, and they sound like very nice guys. I mean, you've had beers with them.
Mm-hmm.
They're nice New York kids. They're well, not kids, but they're nice. Oh, how you doing? Yeah, we're called Cannibal Corpse. This song is called Hammer Smashed Face, eh, or whatever. Whereas black metal injected an element of it may not be real evil, but it injected an element of, you know, yes, I drink the blood of children.
Yeah, good.
So I think that's kind of needed. I mean, as much as I like death metal, I kind of wish they were as evil as black metal, to be honest. We need some death metal murders.
Yeah. Many bands mutilate themselves on and off stage, doing anything from cutting their chests with large knives to nailing wooden boards to their extremities.
Yeah, but so did Morbid Angel in the early days.
Mm-hmm.
They used to slash themselves, and I think Trey has even said we don't even know why we did it. We just did it.
Mm-hmm. The music just gets a hold of you, but
My favorite story about an early Deicide show, and you know how much Deicide plays a part in my death metal listening. They
uh-huh.
had these. They went down to a butcher shop and bought bones or blood and organs, and they put it in these dummies. And Morbid Angel had these pit bulls. Shut up, computer. And Morbid Angel had these pit bulls, who went crazy and tore up the mannequins, and there was meat and bone and blood and organs everywhere. It was awesome.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Many bands also hold ritualistic animal sacrifices, and a few have been known to sodomize the carcasses.
I don't know about animal sacrifices. Most of them get their meat from butcher shops. I know because I've asked. Maybe if you did some research, but yeah, sodomizing carcasses. Yeah.
Yes, sodomizing the carcass. That's always good to do. Stick your cock in the meat.
But yeah, I need actual evidence before animal sacrifices can be believed.
Yeah. These acts are sometimes videotaped and sold. Good. Finally, most black metal bands pride themselves on the number of times they've been arrested. These arrests have historically been ranged from simple traffic violations to violent actions, from attempted murder with a jigsaw to shooting at a Christian drug rehabilitation center.
To
What
actual
about
murder.
the fucking arsons and actual murder? Fuck, it's handed to you on a platter. It's a web search away. I don't care when this was written. It was literally just a fucking web searched away. Just type in black metal crime and then say, oh my God!
No, it doesn't matter when it was written because I got into black metal, or started reading about black metal in 06 when this was written, and yeah, yeah.
Just a fucking morons. Even within black metal, there exists a schism between the Satanists and non-Satanists. Those who focus on the music versus those who focus on spreading and acting on the philosophy of Satanism.
Satan, I'm always for Satan above all else.
I do not consider myself a Satanist by any rule-ridden set of guidelines or philosophy, said Nath, the lead singer of the Southern California-based black metal band Ash Duatis. However, I do appreciate satanic influence in black metal for its aesthetic and for what energy is behind it when it is done with in a non-childish and intelligent manner.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I kind of like people who actually believe in it, or at least if they don't believe in it, at least take an interest in it. Because the people who don't, I'm not going to say take an interest, but the people who see it only as a shock value will write Venom lyrics, and nothing against Venom. They were great, but at the same time, Venom kind of did that shit,
Yeah.
So what I like is Dissection, who wrote their last album as a tribute to the satanic organization that they were in and the book that they wrote. Their esoteric formulae and things like that. So I like bands. Yes, I like bands who actually have an interest in Left Hand Path, or hell, even believe in it. If that makes me childish or whatever, then fine. But because they tend to be a little more intelligent about.
Shipley said bands like Ashdotus are not staying true to the spirit of black metal. When the genre first came into existence, black metal was more than just music. This was the only music that reinforced its message with actions. The musicians were soldiers as well as Satanists, he said. I find it lamentable.
Yeah, because as your Euronymous said, black metal is any metal that worships Satan. Death metal is any metal that worships death. That's why in the early days, bands like Immortal or bands like that weren't considered black metal, even though they had a black metal sound, and even though they were liked by the black metal circle because they didn't talk about Satanism. They talked about winter demons and things like that. That's why Enslaved weren't considered black metal at first because they weren't talking about Satanism. They're talking about Vikings. I'm not saying they were shunned because of it, but they were like, No, they're not black metal. They're very good, and they have the same kind of sound, but they don't talk about. So that was what black metal meant in the early days, and that's what death metal meant in the early days. You could be in a band that sounded like Bathory, but if you talked about only about death and worship death, then you were considered death metal. So yes, it was more than music, and it was about more than it was about ideology more than which was it a naive thing? Yes, but I find it interesting at least.
I find it lamentable that the black metal has become so watered down through the years. All I ever hear now is how everyone has grown out of that sort of thing. But to me, these fools who claim to be above action or true meaning are not true black metal anyways. Oh God, I'm just thinking back to the manifesto. Must destroy.
We need to get Shipley on the show, I think.
Yeah, we need to convince him to kill someone. Anyway, Edwin Borsham, the lead singer of the black metal outfit Kettle Cadaver, echoed Shipley's statements about black metal in an interview that he had with Shipley for the Satanic Inquisition, a publication Shipley co-edits. In the interview, Borsham said that black metal isn't even about the music at all. I hate musicians, he said. A bunch of homos sitting around studying notes. That has nothing to do with black metal. Black metal in its purest form doesn't even need music. But it's a great tool, just like in the skinhead scene. Which, yeah, it is a good tool no matter what, but, Others say that conflate music and advocacy is dangerous territory. I look at lyrics and imagery exclusively as entertainment, said Patrick McCann, CEO of Red Stream Records, one of America's leading subgenre metal record labels. If I was more serious about themes and images, I don't think I would be involved in the music business, but in some kind of activist group.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can use music as a weapon. I mean, look how many people came out of the woodwork whenever Black Sabbath. I won't mention Coven, just because I've already. But think about how many people came out of the woodwork whenever Sabbath had the inverted cross, and look how many people came. Look at Venom, who said, "Well, look, Sabbath did this," but then they would go and say, "Oh God, please help me," let's kill him. As Kronos from Venom said, Ozzy's great, but he was the tortured soul. He was, the witch is coming to get me, and his attitude was, I want to be the witch. I want to be the I'm coming to get you. So you take that, and look how many bands sprung up at Venom and were felt free to speak their mind about religion. So I think music is a great weapon. Will it ever change the world? Has it ever changed the world? Probably not. But I think it's still cool though to see that at least metal is
Mm-hmm. As for So Evil's particular brand of activism, McCahan and it added, Satanism is a hypocrisy like any religion. Soul Evil was founded by Shipley in 1997 when the American black metal scene was just gaining popularity. The name of the band represents the duality of men, said Shipley. Men are both good and evil. One can't have light without darkness. And that's overplayed, but okay.
True. Give me darkness any day of the year.
Currently, the band's only remaining original member is Shipley, who has continued to recruit new members and play during his incarceration. However, despite his inability to tour or have access to professional recording equipment, Shipley said his music is not being hindered.
Yeah, Absurd recorded a demo while in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think would be funny. They even played a live show while in prison, which I have. It's the weirdest thing I ever heard. Hearing a black metal band play German punk songs live in a prison when they were the inmates.
That's fun.
It's the weirdest nuanced show I think I've ever heard. But yeah, I just thought you'd like that guy.
Yeah.
I think he and Hunt Hendricks should meet up one day.
In a dark alley.
Oh, could you imagine? Like, this is my manifesto. Really? Here's mine.
Oh, what you doing with my intestines? No, don't play them like a bass. Oh my god!
Satan. Besides, I've kind of grown to support bands who strike blows at Christianity. So I support you, Raymond Shipley.
Yay. With my freedom stripped away and my goals more realized, I can finally begin to articulate through my music what it truly means to be what all men endeavor to be, the master of men, Shipley explained. The philosophy of soul evil is to free man from enslavement under all falsehoods. The goal of soul evil isn't to complete annihilation of the herd or even the herd mentality, but to win the right to apply our own virtues of strength and honor without the mass hysteria of subservient morality condemning us for our vitality. I think I've heard that stated before by other people, but
see, this is why I like black metal. You never hear, you rarely hear a death metal band saying this. Maybe like the more anti-Christian, but usually they just want to talk about kill deathcore, which is all well and good. I love to kill deathcore.
You got some good satanic acts too, but
we should do a skit one day if because you're talking about the D&D thing with the voices or whatever. We should do a skit one day. I'll play Hunt Hendricks and you can play like a real black metal. We'll get actual quotes and like the duality of black metal, man. Oh, I think it'd be funny.
Shipley said he became a Satanist while still in high school. As a person gets older and begins to develop their views about the world, they either embark upon a sojourn of true contemplation or blindly accept the status quo and remain part of the herd, he said. I chose to shun the herd. Satanism has allowed me to dominate my own experience, pursue my interests without the crutch of guilt or pity. It is a religion of strength and power in both mind and body. I couldn't possibly see myself as anything else.
Good. You know what? It may not work for everyone, but it works for him, and I don't want to be in the herd either. That's why, as I said, after reading Kingdom Come, I was like, yay, I'm glad I'm not like that. I don't pray to shrines of DVD players.
Yay, praying the shrines of DVD players. Although Satanists focus mainly on Christians and their ideologies, Shipley said that he also wants to see the end of all religions, including Islam, Judaism, and even Wicca.
No, he said something bad about Judaism.
And Wicca, oh my god, that's going to get the witches' panties in a bunch.
I knew some Wiccans, and they were kind of tame. I knew some actual witches, not in the Wiccan circle, but more of left-hand path circle, but not actually Satanism, and they were much more fun than Wiccans. Yeah. Much more fun. Because Wiccans are, all about good and nature, and they were more about darkness and evil. Which, as you know on this show, anything that involves darkness and evil, I'll gravitate towards faster than a maggot on a corpse.
Back in the day, whenever I followed this shit, there was like, oh my god, so much pretentious shit going around. Dear God. And that was back in the day. It's gotten even worse as time's gone on.
I've always viewed Wicca as kind of as very pretentious. I've always liked. There were always people who wouldn't go the extra step. I always like people who went the extra step. I've always said I like anything unholy. I like anything unholy. So, that's why I support the left hand path, even though I don't really believe in Satanism or whatever. But I do support people like that because I've always liked, yes, I understand the criticism of it, but at the same time, I like evil.
In a strongly written article called Satan versus Wiccan, Lucifer's Child, Shipley's co-editor of the Satanic Inquisition, wrote about his frustration of Satanism being compared often to Wicca. I find it simply unacceptable that those weak motherfuckers are frequently grouped into the same class as Satanists, he wrote. Wiccans don't have comrades. They have customers. It's a clever marketing scheme to seduce freaks who want to lead a guilt-free lifestyle while keeping alive their best chances for an afterlife. Wiccans disregard these accusations. It's true that New Age flakes flutter around Wicca, and they are sort of foolish, but these guys are probably mistaking the dilettantes for the committed core, rather than like some people with that drunken teenage boys who torture cats for fun. For the fun of it, are authentic Satanists.
Yeah, true, but the only problem is the authentic core is so hard to find nowadays. It's kind of like Satanism. That's why I stopped looking around my hometown, started going to the internet to meet Satanists, because if you look at my hometown, which I don't, I live in Southern California, but still, I'm a young kid, so no one, but still, it's still very hard to find people without doing a search on the internet who are actually interested in left hand path and not just, yeah, I like Satan and like Baphomet and like 666, man. I'm like, well, what do you know about it? Like Baphomet? I know the Satanic Bible exists. Well, do you know the difference between atheistic and theistic Satanism? Huh? So that's why I kind of gravitated towards the internet.
Yeah.
And yes, there are a lot of trolls, but there are a lot of really cool committed Satanists, which I recommend it, Jim. There are some interesting people to talk to.
Yeah. Said Samuel Wagner, the high priest of the Congressional Wiccan Association of British Columbia. These allegations are so completely far from anything Wiccans are about, not to mention in fundamental contradiction to Satanism.
Well, maybe you should clarify it, motherfucker. But yeah, most New Age. I hate New Age beliefs.
Catherine Noble Bear, the author and webmaster of the online Wicca community, Wicca for the Rest of Us, said that she thinks of Wicca and Satanism as being similar beliefs.
Yeah, depends on what strain you're coming from. I mean, if you're going from more of a evil side, yes. But if you're going from more of a benign, benign side, then I mean, Satanism is a pretty damn. It's not for the weak, which is why I like it. And it's not about physical weakness; it's about mental weakness. It's not about as they said, it's not about physical weak. It's not about, well, you're handy. It's about mental weakness. It's about
Both religions are counterculture, and from what I know of Satanists, most are as moral and law-abiding as anyone else. Depends if you're coming from the Fred Rogers school or not.
It also, yeah. I don't think shooting a gun at a Christian drug rehab center is law abiding. Not no. I think it should be. I think it should be a law that, you know, if you're gonna fucking every every Christian drug rehab center must be shot at least once a day.
Shipley said he hopes to continue to preach his beliefs through music and maybe even begin to move society into a more satanic-friendly direction. Now, I'd love it if everyone being could be allowed to do this or do his or her own thing, not necessarily meaning anarchy, but to eliminate illogical societal laws. If it ever were necessary, one would be able to take vengeance against those who brought harm upon others. Satanis venere.
Yes, and God, I wish that was true, because I would take vengeance upon so many people. All of you. All of you watching this, I hate you.
Yeah.
I hate you for not promoting the show enough.
Good. Hate
If
them
you
all.
if you watch this and you don't promote the show, you are the worst human who's ever lived. But yeah, I like the shit we get away with on here.
And then we start getting viewers, and that's when we start getting fucking fines and
Could you imagine?
Shit.
Could you imagine if we ever got big and someone's like, "On episode 66, you claim that someone should claim that every religious rehab center should be shot at least once a day," and
Your point.
well, why do you hate religion?
It's not that I hate religion. It's just that it's a fun thing to do.
It's not that I hate religion. It's that, oh yeah, I do. It's not that I hate religion and all you stand for and your sheep-like beliefs, and I think that Satanism is awesome. Wait, did I say not?
Oh well, onward to
Onward
necrophilia.
Onward and downward. Okay, necrophilia.
Necrophilia and incest should be legal, says Swedish Liberal Party Youth Wing.
What website's this from?
The Daily Mail.
Right. Take that with
grain of salt. I know. But I figured it'd be fun because it has necrophilia and incest in it.
Yes, but yes, take this as yeah.
Do a little more research on it, yes, but I just don't feel like it.
Warning. The following contents are from a retarded newspaper.
Yes, but it'll be fun to read anyway.
Who supported Hitler until oh shit, we're not going to support Hitler. Oh, Hitler sucks now. I love that. I love that. Anyway, what does the reported Swedish Liberal Party, which I don't think so, but whatever.
The youth wing of the Swedish Liberal Party has filed a motion to legalize necrophilia and incest. They say just because it is viewed as unusual and disgusting does not mean that the deprived sexual acts should be illegal. They want to legalize sex between two consenting siblings over the age of 15 and sex with a corpse if there is a written permission made before the person died. Go for it.
You know what the sad thing is?
Huh.
I really can't see anything wrong with this.
Yeah.
I mean,
aside from the inbred babies going
whatever. But as far as that goes, if it's consensual, let them redneck it up. I'm not defending them because there's nothing really to defend. It's not my cup of tea, but whatever.
Still free to weaken the gene pool even further.
How many? But let's be honest here. I'm not included. Never, ever, ever confuse me with someone who has done this because that makes me angry. But how many people try sex on a relative at first? You know what I mean, though. How many people, when they experiment with sex, cousins or whatever. Not that I did not do that. Don't ever confuse me with someone who did that because I don't want to think of any of my family members in that context because I'm revolted by them normally.
I'm just thinking, God, what the fuck? All I'm saying is weaken the gene pool if you want. I don't give a shit. Fucking
Well, it's not even about
enjoy your
weakening.
own degeneracy and
It's
let
not even
everything
about
rot
weakening.
to hell.
It's not even about weakening the gene pool. It could be lesbian or gay sex. It could be. I mean, Gigi Allen and his brother used to fuck back when they were, younger because they didn't know what the fuck sex was. It was
Yeah.
just, you know. So yeah, that's just I can't really see a problem in it. I mean, besides anything that's going to weaken the gene pool ain't going to reproduce after a certain time. So
Yeah. We don't like morality laws in general, and this legislation is not about protecting anyone right now. Cecilia Johnson, Liberal Youth Chairperson in Stockholm, told Aftonbladet, "We are a youth wing, and one of our tasks is to think one step further."
I still think this is bullshit. Just the wording of it just screams fake story.
It might be, I don't know.
But
I don't
I,
even care.
well, well, I talked about this on a group the other day with some people and about you know about incest laws or whatever, and I actually gave it a lot of thought, not as like practicality. I was just like, whatever. It's like I said, if it's consensual, then sure, go ahead and fuck your cousin or sister. I don't give a shit. I find it revolting, but whatever. If that's what get you off, if that's what gets you off, dude.
It should be your own decision what happens with your body when you die. And if it happens to be that you wish to bequeath your remains to someone to sleep with them, then that should be okay, Miss Johnson said.
See, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, you're dead. What the fuck are you gonna care?
Yeah.
I
A
think. I think.
press
I think.
spokesperson said Monday the Mother Party does not back the youth wing and wants both necrophilia and incest to remain illegal.
Of course, this could just be a publicity stunt.
Mm.
But it's necrophilia is a little harder to defend than incest. But I'm not defending incest either. I'm just stating it cold hard facts. Um, but as far as it goes, well, it's cold hard facts. Ha! Necrophilia joke.
Yeah.
I think necrophilia should only be legal if it's public. That's what
Yeah.
I think, and it should only be a loved one's corpse, or the loved one of someone you know, or a distinguished person from the community or the world. Corpse, obviously. That's how necrophilia should be illegal. Because I want to offend as many people as possible. Oh my god, he's fucking the president.
Na, 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 na.
Just imagine if someone, after Reagan died,
Oh, God, raping Reagan's corpse.
just
Film at 11. Ah! Sodomize that meat. Sodomize it.
if someone just came up with it. Oh god. Who's the next president to die? That's what I want to know.
All I know is I live too close to them darn dare hills to fucking not. Fuck. In the one fucking homeless shelter I was in, there was a guy literally bragging that he was the product of incest. And he kept saying, "Look at my eyes. See how they're like dichromal? It's the sign that I am fucking cool because I am inbred." What?
Like I said, the whole thing about the
My
gene pool.
mother is my sister. Whoa,
The
what?
whole thing about the whole thing about the gene pool, though, Jim, is that if you get it to where they're inbred, they'll probably just intermarry and die off, or the baby will just be born with so many things wrong with it that it'll just die off. So, the gene pool does have ways of purifying itself.
And it really needs to purify itself because Morrissey is saying eating meat is the same as pedophilia.
Why does anyone care what Morrissey has to say anymore? Why did anyone care in the first place?
I don't know. Former Smith singer says there's no difference between believing in the abattoir and supporting Auschwitz. Eating meat is not murder.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Because I'm sorry, animals not equal to humans. When an animal can come on, do this show and be understood, when an animal could build a computer, maybe. But so far, the only thing my animals could do is bark a lot and shit.
Give me cow, dead cow, and dead pig. They go good together.
I had dead pig for dinner. Pulled pork.
Good shit.
Mm-hmm.
I had Taco Bell.
Also good.
Eating meat is not murder. It's much worse than that, according to the celebrated Miss former singer of the Smiths. I see no difference between eating animals and pedophilia, he said. They are both rape, violence, and murder.
No, they don't fit. They don't fit the dictionary definition of either of those. I don't know if anyone raped my hamburger meat, but God, I hope not.
Sodomized gopher meat.
That's what's for dinner. Eat up, Morrissey.
If I'm introduced to anyone who eats beings, I walk away. So you cluster yourself off from most of society, just like a rich bastard.
Vegetables have feelings too, man. You know, vegetables are beings. You know that carrot that you just ate? It is a baby carrot at home. And its baby carrot's going, "Where's Daddy Carrot?" Can you live with that, Morrissey? No, you can't live with that. So go ahead. Join Kurt Cobain. Join Kurt Cobain in the afterlife.
Yes, paint the wall with your brains.
Yes, that'll be the best song you wrote. Just like Kurt Cobain.
Imagine, for example, if you were in a nightclub and someone said to you, "Hello, I enjoy bloodshed, throat slitting, and the destruction of life." I will tell you exactly what I would do. I would ask that chick for her fucking number.
I'd probably
if I wasn't already dating some chick that already says this shit.
Yeah. If I met a girl who said that, I'd be like, I think I would love.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'd say. I'd be like, "Where have you been all my life?"
Yeah. Fuck this bastard. Well, I doubt they want to exchange phone numbers, he said. God, no, I'd want to. That is people I wish to date.
And if it was a guy, I'd be like, "Let's be friends. Let's be friends and do a show together."
Hey. So happy together.
No.
Shit down the throat of humanity.
Yeah, if someone said that, I'd be like, "You are worthy. You are worthy of being blessed by me."
If Jamie Orrible is so certain that flesh food is tasty, then why doesn't he stick one of his own children in a microwave? Do it! Do it!
Well, I have a cousin that I've thought of doing that too. Because he's like 8 and he annoys the shit out of me because he's like, I don't know what the hell hyperactive disorder he has, but he has some sort of hyperactive disorder. So he's bouncing all over the walls, and I'm just like, just come in here. It's a nice little door.
Since a lamb is a baby, I wonder what kind of mind Cilla Black would possibly have that would convince her that eating a baby is okay.
Well, Cilla Black's a vile human being anyway. She does those fucking British dating game shows or whatever that just, oh god. I've seen just enough of her on British television to hate her for the rest of my life. But I'm sorry, Morrissey. Sheep aren't great. Sheep aren't humans. I'm sorry. I definitely believe in a hierarchical thing. You know, speciesist, fine, whatever. I don't care at this point. Um, sheep have no value to us.
Oh, so what is wrong with eating baby?
Aside
from the murder charges.
Yeah, aside. Shit, Jim. If we didn't get arrested, the only thing keeping us safe is legality.
Yeah. The only thing keeping anyone safe is legality. That's why I say legalize murder, and my day would be happy.
Yes, I would be happy to. I would have a lot of fun. Until
you see, the whole entire concept of the House of 1,000 Corpses, it would be a literal house built straight from corpses.
You know what? On second thought, I don't think they should legalize murder. And I'll tell you why. I pissed off a lot of people in my time.
As have I, but you gotta be willing to accept them consequences.
Yes, I know.
Accept the consequences and fight back. That's why I wish to give you a flamethrower.
Weaponize the blind.
Oh, God. Everything else is just people saying he's full of shit, but I had to get his direct quotes. Oh, God.
That's what happens when someone is... Oh, God, I don't eat a being. Well, aren't vegetables alive?
Yay. You're committing veggie murder.
Maybe you should just starve yourself to death as your body slowly consumes itself. Morrissey's given us nothing of value to this world.
Mm-hmm.
I hated the Smiths. I hated solo stuff. He's useless.
Yes, useless, easily discarded by humanity as waste on the side of the road.
Yes. And, yeah, I eat meat and I don't care. Hell, I don't even know if I eat pork. I mean, they told me it's pork. They can tell me it's pulled human and I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
human.
I wouldn't care. I'm just being straight. I would not care. What if it's a loved one? I don't have any loved ones.
It's a corpse on the side of the road.
I love myself.
Fucking guts flayed out for the world to see, and its severed cock jammed up its own rectal orifice.
Side of the road. Side of the road. Saw a dead body on the side of the road.
Mm-hmm. Well, Eagles of Death Metal's Jesse Hughes says gun control failed Paris.
And to which I say, so gun control would stop people with bombs strapped to their backs.
Yes. Apparently.
I didn't even want to read this because it's just like, you're totally on a different planet here.
Did your French gun control stop a single person from dying at that thing? If anyone can answer yes, I'd like to hear it, says the musician in an emotional interview.
That's why humans are horrible arguers, because they let emotions get the best of them. And you know what? I kind of wish Eagles of Death Metal would have joined the people dying, because they fucking suck. And they suck for taking the name Death Metal. You are not Death Metal. Dismember is Death Metal. They had an album called Death Metal. You're not Death Metal. You're shitty blues rock. And the guy was in Queens of the Stone Age, which is stoner rock for pop fans. Go die. We're terrorists when you need them.
Apparently not the right part of Paris. Yep.
Smoke up there.
The Eagles of Death Metal frontman Jesse Hughes slammed France's strict gun control laws ahead of the group's first concert in Paris since the November 13th terror attacks. In an intensely emotional interview, with French channel Itella. Hughes recounted the horrific attack that left 89 people dead and the trauma he's experienced since. When I'm
Good.
awake, it's not going to inspire anything good.
That'll inspire something good for me, at least. Here's what I do. Let's see, 2,000 people in the hall, 2,000 people minus 89 equals 2,000, or seeing 2,000 bottles of beer on the wall, and every time someone dies.
Yeah. When I'm awake is when I see things that are nightmares, Hughes said. Good. The musician also said that it was his sacred responsibilities to finish that Eagles of Death Metal show. No, it wasn't. It was your sacred responsibility to go between the legs and the mouth. Look out, brain. Here it comes. And join Kurt Cobain in the fucking realms of happiness and joy.
Yes. Yes.
As well as the rest of the band's tour, noting at one point, I can't let the bad guys win.
I let the bad guys win all the time.
I'm one of the bad guys. Good.
Yes. That's why I let you win. You are worthy of winning.
Gun control kind of doesn't have anything to do with it, he said. But then he added, did your French gun control stop a single person from dying? If anyone can answer yes, I'd like to hear it, because I don't think so. I think the only thing that stopped it was some of the bravest men I've ever seen in my life charging headfirst into the face of death with their firearms.
And dying. That's what bravery gets you, whereas cowardice saves your life.
Fuck you, Elliot. I like bravery. Because how else you gonna fucking commit suicide by cop?
Yeah, true, but see, I'm a coward, so I'll watch for a while, then I'll join.
Yeah.
I'm a coward by choice. And by the way, I'm only a coward because I like seeing people I hate die first before me. But and also, so wait, so he says gun control didn't have anything to do with it, but then he asks, did you make up your mind?
I know people disagree with me, but it seems like the gym made men and women, and that night guns made them equal, he continued.
Yeah. Except for the fact that, no. You know what? I agree, Jesse. So take your beloved gun and go join Kurt Cobain.
I think the only way that my mind has changed is that maybe that until nobody has guns has to have them, because I don't see anything like this ever happen again. But I want everyone to have the best chance to live. I saw people die that maybe could have lived. I don't know, but I wish I knew for sure that if they could have had a better chance, because there were some real angels, real wonderful people at the show.
Yeah, they're wonderful because they pay money to watch you play.
Yeah. I wonder what would happen if his audience was all armed.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if you were at the show, I'd just be like, let's you know what, let's order some drinks and watch the chaos.
You see, I'm all for fucking just let people have their fucking firearms. It's fucking awesome. Fucking you should have full autos while you're at it. Grenade launchers, something that actually stand up against whatever. And
nukes.
Yeah, even have fucking personally owned nukes. That's fine by me too, actually.
Nukes for 100%,
not even joking.
See, I think no one should have guns except for me.
But you see, the whole thing here is I'm reminded of this one situation where this has happened locally, where this one guy got into a fucking spat with domestic dispute. And then when the cops showed up, the first thing he did was shoot the cop in the head. Then he sat there and waited with his firearm until more cops showed up, so he had more armed people shooting back at him so he could shoot more of them for the challenge of it and all this other fucking psychotic bullshit that was running through his head at the time.
He's a saint.
So really, depending upon someone's motivations, the very fact someone has a firearm does not mean they're going to get stopped. Yes, you may raise your chances of survival if you're armed against another armed hoodlum, but at the same point, you know, you got that fucking whack job out here. And then you also have Crazy Louie's incident, which was like fucking he could get his hand on a firearm no matter what. So really, it's a fucking moot point. I think it's complete bullshit to argue it. Just fucking get your guns. It'll be good.
Yay, chaos and evil.
Mm-hmm.
The Return of Chaos and Evil. That's a Bathory album.
Yeah. Fuck. So I was gonna fucking weigh all that fucking bullshit.
I think no one should have any sort of weapon except for me. And everyone else should be, just standing there still. Just so I can. Well, because let's face it, I'm blind. If they move, then,
Yeah. You're pretty much fucked.
Damn it, you moved. I have to. Where'd you go?
God damn it, can't hear anything. And that's about all I got today.
All right.
I still gotta check out the other link before I fucking post it because I want to make certain it's not satire.
What's the title of it?
It's the Huck Finn thing.
I don't know. See, I don't know if it's satire, but it's from the New York Post, which is owned by Rupert Murdoch, which should tell you all you need to know about it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll just end this show then.
Yeah.
I like how I said that like I'm disappointed, but really I don't care. I mean, we did 2 hours. Yeah. I was trying to explain why I don't care if I'm a little bit late, because nobody watches this live anyway.
Yeah, everyone watches it dead.
No one watches it. Considering I looked at the fucking viewers, no one watches it anyway. And this has been Political Trendy Radio, episode 65 for the 22nd, I think. I don't really care. February 2087. You can email the show at elllindemood@gmail.com. Twitter's PTRadio666. Fecal Book is Political Trendy Radio. For Buttfuck McGee, I have been Anal Fag Armstrong. Goodbye.